Wake Up America live, coming from Hartsville, South Carolina. Good morning, everyone. This morning we find out that the FBI has found evidence of fragments of the bomb that was used in the Boston Marathon. They have found that it was in a backpack. It was pressure cooker devices. I don't know any more than that. They didn't say anything more about the chemical composition, but they alluded to the fact that bomb making information is readily found on your website, on web pages throughout the entire internet, and has been so for quite a while. We have had still a total of 3 deaths. One was an 8-year-old, and it was there were 2 injuries, and there's about 130 injuries total that are hospitalized, and we consider this to be an act of terrorism of some sort. They haven't determined yet whether or not it's domestic or whether or not it is international. The Saudi individual that was held for questioning, that was on top of the building, that was there at the finish line, has been released. It's been determined he had nothing to do with it. However, they're going to start cracking down on people, with digital photographs and everything else. They said this was one of the most photographed areas in the country. They're asking for photographs that people have taken at airports. They're reviewing their photographs to see if they have anything in there related to the marathon. And excuse me, folks. They're also checking to see if there's any kind of evidence, any tidbit of evidence that could give them any kind of clue as to what the origin of these bombs were and where they came from and who placed them. We have a lot of people automatically prejudging the fact that they're considering it to be a right-wing attack on the left due to no evidence whatsoever. CNN was one of the first ones to make a comment that it was probably right-wing extremist. That's poor journalism. Whenever you jump to a conclusion like that, you're the judge, juror, and executioner. They have no evidence whatsoever that this was done by any particular group. No group has come forward to take responsibility for the bombings, and we have to go forward from here and let the FBI reconstruct the situation. They have stated on TV that they can reconstruct about 90% of the bomb. They found circuit boards, and they found firing devices, and they have found other devices, other things that are components of the bomb that may lead to its origin. However, we have to conclude this. The people that are in Congress right now, they have tightened security on the White House. They've closed it off entirely to the public. Airports across the country have heightened their security procedures. LAX has done so, and all of these things have been done to try to give people a sense of confidence to go about their daily affairs and their daily lives without the fear of terrorism. We have to look at what the Bible says about this. This is a case of love your neighbor as yourself. If you don't care about human life, which this country has denigrated the level of human life and sanctity of human life since the 1970s, since they passed the abortion bill, against the wishes of one of the people named in the in the lawsuit, I think it was Roe, the lady named Roe. I think she was offended by the use of her name in the lawsuit. Um, and she said that she never, ever, ever filed a lawsuit. So this was part of the media establishment, probably for population control in this country. And now they're finding out that they've got population control with immigration and everything else. So they have not solved a single thing. Another thing in the news today, you may say this is God's wrath being placed upon the people that are homosexuals or what have you. I don't know. I don't pass any judgment. I just report it as I find out about it. There's a type of meningitis that is spreading through the gay community that is reaching epidemic proportions, and the CDC is trying to keep it hush so it won't cause any kind of national, any kind of national fear or irrational fears among people and all that. But that's one of the things that's coming out, and it's associated with amputation of limbs and mental confusion, brain damage, and death. Folks, I tell you what, I mean, it's all written in the book. It's in the Bible. I mean, you can't outdate the Bible. You can't outrun it. I mean, it's written from start to finish, and it's got the message for humanity in it from start to finish. And I'm not here to preach you a sermon. I'm here to tell you what the stories of the day are. Over in Iraq, you've still got the more people being killed over there now than were killed whenever Saddam Hussein was in office, as we retreat and we pull out of Iraq. We've got we've got explosions taking place on the Pakistan border. Some people say that it's kind of like saber rattling, but they've had an earthquake over there the past recent days that exceeded 6.0 on the Richter scale. No wonder we're having these earthquakes, because there's so many faults in the Earth's crust. These explosions can't be helping them any by dropping these bombs on them and shaking the Earth and shifting the Earth and everything else. We may be paying for World War II and not even know it, with all the bombings that we did. We think everything that man does has no effect on nature, but the Earth is like a bell suspended in space, and once something hits it, it reverberates. It has to get rid of its energy that was sent to it. And they even said that the sun rings like a bell. I mean, I don't know how they know that, but the astrophysicists know that. They say every planet has its own sound signature, and I guess that may be where you get the word universe from. I mean, maybe they're all singing together. I mean, there was a verse in the Bible where it said, when all the morning stars sang together, when they were all in harmony. We've got people that are being hospitalized for different types of superbugs now that are antibiotic resistant, such as the super staph infections. I myself had a brother-in-law that passed away with one from just a mere cat scratch, and he died. He died within just a matter of a couple of days, where they could not treat him properly, with the antibiotics. So I know firsthand, what that can do to you. Believe me, he was spared any amputations or anything, but blood poisoning is what was one of the symptoms that he had. We've got situations, where we've got one of the children in the hospital that's getting ready to be released. His birthday is in a few days, and hopefully he's going to be released by then. They've got breathing tubes in him from the Boston explosion, and he is progressing progressing along just fine, but they still are being very, very cautious with him because of the gas that he inhaled and everything else. And they just want to make sure that there's not going to be any repercussions coming from it. We had a family that was there to witness the finish of one of the fallen um, people that were victimized by this explosion. This is an international event, folks. I mean, people come from all over the country, all over the world to participate in this Boston Marathon. And this is this was a holiday. It was Patriots Day in Boston, and Patriots Day is held in honor of the patriots that took a stand against the tyranny of England. And there's been so many other people that try to tie this holiday to so many different other events, such as, like, there were so many days away from the Waco tragedy that no one seems to remember, when the Branch Davidians were in their compound and they were burned alive, and some upwards of 70 to 80 plus people died in that fiery inferno, where they could just been barricaded and just kept in there and had a guard posted, and they would eventually ran out of supplies. But the U.S. government, Janet Reno at the time, under the Bill Clinton administration, wanted to make an example of them. And and then they go on to say that this was something else. It was tied to Martin Luther King march that was to take place some other place, and it goes on and on, folks. Where they're trying to tie this thing together, with very, very loose ends, and it's making them very nervous, because I mean, they've increased security at Wrigley Field. They've secured. They've shown increased security in a lot of public facilities, but we just, as a country, we are a sports-minded country, and we have a lot of events that people go to, and I think it would practically be impossible for them to cover every single event. I mean, just be honest with you. When you go out, you're assuming a risk. They should punch a ticket. They should have it on the back of your ticket. That this is life. You're assuming a risk that you may not return alive. I mean, they have that on the back of some of the tickets that you go to some of the events, like monster truck races, like car races, NASCAR races. You know that it's a very dangerous event, and you assume the responsibility for whatever injuries you incur for being there. Now, how enforceable that is, I don't know. You'll have to talk to your lawyer, but I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not going to pretend to be one. You have in the news today also the Prime Minister Thatcher. She's going. They're having last rites for her today. People, dignitaries from all over the world are visiting. Dick Cheney is in attendance. I'm sure Ronald Reagan would have been there had he been alive. She was very instrumental in bringing the Soviet Union down, and bringing the wall down, as Ronnie was, Ronald Reagan, and telling them to tear down this wall. If they really meant what they said, and Putin and all those people are going to be there from Russia, and you're going to have a huge, huge increase in security at this funeral. And this is another example of one a public event that's got to be covered. And